Hi, Apes. Fellow here to give you some quick feedback on the Frankentrial today before fleeing the state for Boston. So anyway, first of all, the trial as a whole was really excellent. It definitely met my expectations of Apes giving a very close reading of the novel that was evidenced through your arguments and the nice sense of kind of combatic intellectual prowess that was displayed in the trial. So that was great, and I must say the actors were one of our strongest sets of actors. It showed that you have some experience. So anyway, okay. So some comments about your performances. Laura's opening. That was a very nice preview of your side, and good use of rhetorical questions. Very effective how you called the creature his son, kind of set the stage for that. But your best line was definitely saying that the real monster is Victor. Kai's opening, nice use of science and invention. In fact, I thought your side was going to exploit that idea even further from your intro. But also comparing it to the modern day issue of guns. Was very interesting and effective, and planting the seed for the argument that society as a whole can't be held responsible. And actually, that argument came up in the jury, so they remembered that when they were deliberating. The creature, Lori as creature. Hi, I'm recording. Lori as creature was very effective. Great makeup job. Good drama. That was probably the most empathetic creature we've had. And the first time that anybody's ever showed flesh during the trial, showing her wound, which is pretty effective. Nicole's questioning, examination of the creature. I liked how you said that you showed that he had no name, that dehumanizing detail was effective, as well as allowing him, the creature, to tell his story. You had a nice fluid flow of questions that allowed him to get an empathetic reaction from the jury. Cross-examination by Jeremiah, bringing up the point of murderous intent. When did the creature have murderous intent? Was it at birth or was it later? That was an important point. Very effective when you went down the whole line of, did you kill William? Did you kill Elizabeth? Did you kill Henry? It made him seem pretty heinous and calculated. So that was an effective method, as well as good use of quotes from the book to implicate the creature. Then we have Justine Moritz showing up. And the Apes thought that, Megan, you did a very sympathetic portrayal of Justine. They weren't quite sure who Justine was. I mean, they didn't read the book, so that was a little hard for them. However, they did think you were trustworthy, and they thought you did a good job of acting. Riley's prosecution on Justine Moritz, that line of questioning was very effective in again, making her sympathetic to the jury and giving her opportunities to be upset, which you know, made them think poorly of Victor. We also got an objection from the ghost at that point, which was really quite bizarre. And normally you can't get objections from witnesses, but I think I was a little taken aback, as of everyone, from this voice coming from under the blanket. So yeah, that was funny. And then Annie's cross-examination was intense. You really drilled Justine on her evidence. Where were you? What time was it? And she didn't know that. So then her credibility started to shake a little bit. The line of questioning where you asked her why she would defend a creature, the creature, that she didn't even know, in the killing of William, that was pretty interesting, especially since the other side didn't exploit this detail, but just because somebody is a witness does not mean they're defending that person. You can be called a witness and you have to testify, but they didn't bring that up, so that was an interesting question. Then we have Henry Clairville, our first ghost in a Frankentrial. And I think it was a very interesting course of questioning. First we had Joey successfully showing that Victor was incapable, that he was rambling and not of right mind, and that was remembered too when the apes deliberated. Then Miss Molly, as called by Henry, had a very good line of questioning, showing Victor's neglect, that he neglected to warn Clairville and warn his family members. I was very impressed with the extent of detail, Molly, that you knew about the novel, the locations when things happened, and it made you survive the badgering of the attorney that was given to you by the other side. You held your ground, and your questioning was very strong. So that was a worthy. Oh, and I should also say that Henry was very skilled at not implicating Victor. So Molly, your questions were very good to Trevor, but he kept bringing back, friendship, and he made himself seem very noble. Although you kept questioning his intent on the friendship thing, and he did after a while sound a little bit Barney in Sesame Street. Friends are forever, friends till the end, but noble at the same time. So you were very worthy adversaries. Then we had Victor. So we have an intellectual, real cerebral Victor with an interesting accent. I'm not sure where it was from, but it seemed fitting for a scientist. And Nick, you really knew the text, and that was very evident. Claire's examination, emphasizing that the creature fled on his own volition, was effective. And then the point about being denied any outside help was kind of funny to me, because the other side did not jump on it. But Victor, it was a far cry from arguing that Victor sought outside help. He told one person, the magistrate, who didn't listen, but he never told his family. He had all those opportunities to tell others, and he didn't. Yet you made the point, and the jury heard it, that Victor was denied outside help. So that called into question the willful word is what you were emphasizing. Natalie had a very strong line of questioning, and starting out very fiery by saying, as soon as I finish my statement, you can start objecting. And I think you needed to come out that strong, because they were coming, it was very evident from Miss Molly forward that they were coming on strong against you, so that was a good bam. Emphasizing the big body parts was a good move, as well as his ego. You were bringing up a new line of questioning. Maybe had it started earlier, it could have built up more. And it was a good thought, but I think Nick did not come off as egotistical, and that was key. He came off as humble and questioning. And you were relentless in talking about, well, the baby versus the infant was perhaps the big moment of the trial. There's usually one moment that a lot of people react to, and as soon as Nick pushed you on what is an infant, and you said a small person, there was a gasp from both sides and the jury, and I think it's because at that moment you knew it too, Natalie, that obviously the creature was huge. So if an infant is a small person, this is not an apt comparison. But you recovered and you realized it, and I would call you to, again, worthy adversaries. And a lot of good objections through the last two as well. Then we have the closing. Shauna had a lot of information, emphasizing that Victor chose not to help, using a lot of the very terminology in gross negligence, like blatant demise, reminding the jury, having the jury pretend that they were parents, putting them in the role of being a negligent parent, and that was effective. And then a whole series of really strong quotes, followed by a good rebuttal. I put slam by the rebuttal. That was very strong. Miranda emphasizing gross negligence. This is not gross negligence. There's some guesswork involved. Emphasizing this point was brought up by numerous AIFs during deliberation, Miranda, so they remembered this one. The point that the creature, the victor, in destroying the creature's mate, he destroyed the mate because he realized what the creature was capable of. And that showed that had he known previously, before making the creature of his ill potential, he would not have created the creature. So that shows it was not willful. It was not gross negligence. In fact, he said, had he made the creature a mate, that would have been grossly negligent. And they remember that point. And that is what I have. So that's my 11-minute little glance at the trial. It was an energetic and effective trial. So nice job, all apes. And that's a little feedback from me. Hopefully the verdict sheets from the apes will give you some more feedback. Remember, they didn't read the book, so it can be frustrating to see what they wrote, but they are just listening to your argumentation. So that's about it. I hope you have a good couple of days, and I will see you on Tuesday. So really try to give this poetry prompt, this question 1, your fullest. Think about what you wanted to improve on your essays and really go for it. And I will see you Tuesday, at which time I will introduce our next major work, which is Shakespeare's Othello, which I think you will enjoy immensely. So that is all. See you on Tuesday.